morning. I'm going to 1 Samuel 22, verse 1. 1 Samuel 22, verse 1. And I apologize for not having the listening guides on today. 1 Samuel 22, verse 1 through 3. David left Gad and escaped to the cave of Adullam. When his brothers and his father's household heard about it, they went down to him there. All those who were in distress or in debt or discontented gathered around him, and he became their commander. About 400 men were with him. And I want to talk about for a few minutes on today, I'd rather be in a cave. I'd rather be in a cave. Now, let me state this. I was on the phone last week with our leaders of the church, and the leader said to me, Pastor Bailey, did you not know that March is Women's Month? And I had absolutely no idea that I had claimed March for this church to be Men's Month, and the nation and the world recognizes March as Women's Month. So I'm asking you all in advance, please, please, please forgive me. I had no clue, no idea. Charge it to my head and not to my heart. Would you all do that, please? Thank you so very much. I want to talk about this issue of manhood, and all month long I want to just talk about men, and I apologize again, women. Next year I promise I'll find another month to talk about men, not necessarily the month of March. I want to talk about manhood. What is the definition of a man? The definition of a man is a male human. That's basically a simple definition of a man. A man is what separates him from a boy. Matter of fact, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11 said, Paul says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I acted like a child, I talked like a child, but when I became a man, I put away childhood. Paul says, I put away childhood. I put away things in my past that would mistake me as a child. Matter of fact, next Sunday when I preach, I'm going to talk about you got to kill the boy. That's what I'm going to talk about next Sunday. When you become a man, there's some childish things that we do that we got to kill. We got to kill the boy. You hear people say unfairly, act like a man, talk like a man. You hear people say all the time, work like a man. Now, what disturbs me about these people that says act, talk, walk like a man is when you ask them what is that, they cannot give you a definition of what they are talking about. It's subjective ideologies of these men that they've seen and they piece together and they're trying to tell you to be like. Act like a man, talk like a man, walk like a man. It is subjective. And then sometimes the people who say act like a man, the person that says that they're not a man. And what makes it even worse is the person that says it, if they're a man or not, they cannot give you an intelligent definition or a practical definition of what to act or be like. So it's really unfair when you tell somebody to act like something that you really can't define. Act like a man, talk like a man, walk like a man. These terms, again, are humanistic because the truth of the matter is, if you're not a boy, you're a man. In this country, they recognize men at the age of 18. Once you turn 18, you get locked up. They're not going to put you in a juvenile cell. Amen. If you get locked up, they're not going to put you inside of the women's cell. They're going to take your grown behind and put you inside of the men's cell. So the issue is not really if you are a man. The issue really is what kind of man are you? That's the issue. It's not are you a man, be a man. You are a man. The issue is what kind of man are you? Now, many times we hear people define and they say, well, that's a good man, that's a bad man. We say that's a lazy man. We say that's a sorry man. We say that's a low down man. That's a no good man. That's condition and then the man. So what God is trying to get us to do, he wants you to understand he's a human before he is anything else. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? God's intention for making sure you understand he's a man that's blind and not a blind man. Because blindness describes a man, but man is who he is, and blindness is what he's dealing with. But the question is not if you're a man, the question is what kind of man are you? You know, you got a man that drinks. You got a man that's an alcoholic. You got a man that won't work. You got a man that's sorry. But once you understand he's a man, then you can understand his condition. It makes a whole lot more sense saying, oh, it's a man. Okay, now I got it. We live in a fallen world. So whenever we live in a fallen world, that means that there is no such thing as a perfect man. Amen, somebody. The issue is not if you're a man. We have resolved that. The question is, what kind of man are you? I tried to put some pictures here. I hope these turn out on what type of man that they are. So if you look at this man right here, you see that this is a man that's powerful. Yes. Right? It's a man that's powerful. You go to another picture, you see a man that's strong. All right? You go to another picture, you see a man that's funny. You go to another picture, you see a man that's extremely rich. You go to another picture, you see a man that changed the world. You go to another picture, you see a man that women love. Billy D. Williams. This is not for this generation. This is I had to do it for all three churches, and I just couldn't put all Chris Brown pictures up there. I'm sorry. I had to mix it up. And that's for Big Mama. That's for Big Mama. Billy D. Williams. When you get home, ask your mama who Billy D. Williams is. She's your turn. And then you have a great actor, a man that's a great actor. You go to another picture, you got a man that's multi-talented. Then you go to another picture, and you got a man that'll knock you out, or a man that is an entrepreneur. Then you got this picture right here. You got a man. I had to do it. I'm sorry. I know I could have used any other picture, but I had to. You got a man that made a public mistake. You go to another picture, you got a man. A man that's despicable, or a man that likes little girls. I got to put it on there because y'all want you to understand. You got to see the man first, and then his condition. Then you got this man. You got a man that'll beat himself up, man. Pay somebody to do it. Then you got, this is on the internet, it said, find men right there. That's I don't know where y'all found it at, but just Google it, and you got, I'm joking with y'all. Friends, most people want you to believe that you have to have something to keep in order to be a man. They want you to believe that you're not manly enough, or you're not as much of a man if you don't have certain things. So if you don't have $1 million, and there's a man that does, that man that has $1 million sometimes wants you to feel inferior to him because you ain't got what he got. It doesn't make you any less of a man that you don't have $1 million. It just means that you're a man with $1 million, and I'm a man that don't have $1 million. We both mean. It don't make you a more manlier man than me. You put your pants on the same way I put mine on. It doesn't make you a greater man than me. You know, sometimes there's a lot of men who, they may not run inside a burning building, and I thank God I tap my hat off to men that run inside a burning building. And all because you run inside of a burning building, and I don't make you a more manly man than me, just means you're braver men than me. Y'all paying attention? Have y'all hung up the phone? Y'all still with me? There's some folks who want you to think that because they have a $100,000 car that they I'm more man. No, you're just a man with a $100,000 car. You want a cookie? Some folks want you to think that because they have all these degrees behind their name that they are more of a man, they're a smarter man. You may be smart. You just got degrees. God never says that you're not a man because of what you don't have. God wants to know, are you a man that's going to allow him to use your life to get glory out of it? That's all God want to know. Are you going to allow me to use your life to get glory out of it? Here's what I'm sharing with y'all today. On today, we go back to 1 Samuel 22 that we're going to be dealing with all month long. The Bible tells us David goes to this stronghold. He goes to this place called the cave. And in the cave, he's hiding out because he has lost someone close to him, his wife and his best friend, Jonathan. He's lost something of value to him. He lost his job. He lost his reputation. His world has turned upside down. And because that has happened, he went to a cave, a dark, cold, damp place. And 400 men who are distressed, 400 men who are in debt, and 400 men who are discontented follow him. Now here's what messed me up, Philip. What messed me up is that these 400 men leave. I just thought, okay, 400 men leave. But I found out later in 1 Samuel chapter 30, these 400 men have wives. They have children. They have families. But they leave the comfort of their home to be in the cave. They leave the comfort and the laughter of their children to be in the cave. They leave the warmth of their bed to sleep on the floor on rocks. Y'all gonna get it in a minute. To be in the cave. Why in the world would a man leave 400, not just one man? David had no choice. King Saul is out there. David had no choice. He's going to the cave to try to work things out. And these men who are in debt, these men who are discontented, these men who are this distressed, they leave comfort. And they head to a dark, cold cave. Let me tell you why they do it. And I know it's one of the months, but I got to say it anyway. It's hard being a man. And I know women say it's hard being a woman too, but we'll get to that in another day, another time. I know you all have your challenges, but let me just talk to you right quick about how I know it's hard being a man. It's hard being a man, and put on top of that, it's hard being a black man. Let me just say that as well. If you think being a man is hard, try being a black man. My grandfather was called Boy when he was in his 20s and 30s. When an unarmed black man gets shot down and killed for reaching for a license and registration. It's hard being a man. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to debate with you. This ain't up for negotiation. It's hard being a man. If you don't believe it's hard being a man, show me in the Bible where the enemy puts a hit out on all girls 2 years and under. I can show you 2 times in the Bible where the enemy puts out a hit. He puts out a death warrant on all baby boys 2 years and under. One is in Exodus chapter 1, when all the Israelite babies, all the Hebrew babies, he told the soldier to kill all the babies 2 years and under. And then you get to the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke, where you find where Herod tells the soldiers to kill all the babies 2 years and under. Twice, the enemy wants to kill the boy. Why does he want to kill the boy? He wants to kill the boy, first of all, to keep the boy from becoming a man. The second, he wants to kill the boy to keep the boy from becoming a king. To keep the boy from becoming a president. To keep the boy from reaching his potential. He of the boy. And more importantly, the devil knows, the enemy knows, if I can kill this woman's father, if I can kill this woman's husband, if I can kill this woman's son, if I can kill this woman's brother, she'll spend the rest of her life trying to figure it out on what she could have done better to make the situation have gone away. She will live with regret. And so what I'm trying to explain to you all on today, he wants to kill the boy, but he wants to trap the woman. He knows if he kills the man, he gets the man messed up, the home is messed up. He gets the home messed up, the community is messed up. He gets the community messed up, the city's messed up. He gets the city messed up, the state's messed up. He gets the state messed up, the world's messed up. He wants to kill the boy. It's hard being a man. It's hard being strong when you really feel weak. It's hard being attentive and responsible when everybody else in the house get a chance to be careless. It's hard bringing home the bacon and the sausage and the eggs and the bread and the responsibility and the protection and the provision and the vision and the example. It's hard being a man. So the Bible tells us that there are 400 men who leave the laughter of their children, the warmth of their bed, and they head to a cold, dark, dangerous cave. Why? Because there's a breaking point. Every man has a breaking point. It's every man. When you're dealing, listen, when you're dealing with stuff in your life, women, when your man is dealing with stuff in your life, the Bible says these 400 men were distressed, which means that they were suffering from anxiety, sorrow, and pain. Suffering from anxiety, which means maybe there was something that was coming up they were suffering, or maybe the sorrow, maybe they had lost somebody, or pain, maybe they were dealing with some physical, but they were suffering with anxiety, sorrow, and pain. And it also says they were in debt, which means they were broke. Somebody help me say broke. No man likes being broke. They don't mind if they never rich, but what they can't handle is being broke. Not knowing how to pay the light bill, not knowing how to put gas in the car, not knowing how to put food on the table. No man likes being broke. So when you're dealing with being in debt, you owe people some money. No mature man like owing nobody nothing. And then number three, you got they were discontented, which means they were unhappy with their present circumstances. They were unhappy with the way things were going on. They're dealing with that crap in the world, and then they get home and they get all this. It'll make you break. You can't burn the candle on both ends. Okay, y'all not really getting me, or you really want me to shut up, and I got to try to help you understand. 83% of marriages get divorced because they in debt. Ain't got no money. Y'all heard that saying, no money, no honey. I think the next wedding I'm going to do in the bank. I'm not going to do it in the church. Because if it's all about the money, let's go ahead and just keep God out of it. If it's all about the money, don't get married in the bank. I wish I had a witness. I ain't got one here, but that's all right. Friends, I want y'all to say this as I move on. As the man wrestles with those things on the outside, as he wrestles with being in debt, he wrestles with trying to get money inside the house. When he wrestles with what's going on his job, he's unhappy with his boss, he's unhappy with his co-workers, and he's wrestling with the people he has lost in his life, and he gets home. Listen, he gets home, and there's nagging and complaining and criticizing and preaching. There will be a breaking point. These 400 men must have left. Listen, it's in the Bible twice. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 9, and Proverbs 25, verse 24. It's in the Bible twice. Proverbs 21 and 9, Proverbs 25 and 4. Twice the Bible says, Solomon says, it's better watch this, to be on the corner of a rooftop, to be in the house with a nagging woman. Now, he didn't say it once. Solomon said it twice. So I know y'all don't like this, but let me just help y'all understand. Solomon was the richest man ever to live, but he said, I would rather be on I don't even need the whole rooftop. Give me the corner of a rooftop than to be in the house with a nagging woman. Now, Solomon was a billionaire before there was billionaire. They said Solomon's house today would have appraised for $1 billion to $2 billion. Now, that's how much money he put inside of his house. All the gold he had inside of his house. He was the Warren Buffett before there was a Warren Buffett. He was the Bill Gates before there was a Bill Gates. He had crazy, stupid money. Stupid money. He had houses, not just in Jerusalem. He had houses in other countries. He had houses in other cities. But he said, I would rather be on the corner of the rooftop. Solomon had enough money where he could go buy a hotel room. Solomon had enough money where he could go buy the hotel. But he said, I would rather be on the corner of the rooftop than with an nagging woman. Solomon was the wisest man. Understand this? The wisest man. Now, some of us are smart, but we ain't the wise man. He was the wisest man. And he couldn't out-talk his woman. I'd rather be on the corner. Let me try one more time. I was over in Israel last summer. The average temperature was 110 and above. It's dry heat. They tell you to stay hydrated. People get sick. I saw people pass out. It's just dry heat over in Israel. Just dry. You got to stay hydrated. Now, over in Israel, they don't have roof over their head. I got a chance to see some of the housetops. That's clay housetops. So when you got 110 baking down on clay, you cooking. They baking your behind. And Solomon says, I'd rather be baking on the top of the rooftop. I don't need the whole rooftop, I need the corner. Than be in the house with a nagging and complaining woman. At night, it gets about 40 to 50 degrees. Night gets 40 to 50 degrees. Solomon says, I'd rather be freezing on the rooftop than in the house. He's being quiet as I don't know what. Look, friends, there comes a breaking point inside of the life of a man when the man says, I can't do both. I can't fight the world and fight you too. And says, I love you. I'm headed to the cave. Y'all know that song they sing in the church time the man says, take me to the king. When all this is going on at home and all this is going on the job, the man says, take me to the cave. I don't have much to bring. My heart is torn in pieces. Here's my offering. He want to get out. These 400 men left the laughter of their children. They left the warmth of their bed because they couldn't handle it. Now I want to show you 3 things on today on why men would leave and say, take me to the cave. Number 1, they say, take me to the cave because sometimes men's biggest problem are other men. Men's biggest problems are other men. A lot of men who have things going on want to make other men feel inferior. When they think that they're at a certain level, they want to have this arrogance and pride about where they are and why you shouldn't feel a certain kind of way. Men's biggest problem sometimes are other men. I want to be clear what I'm saying about that. What I'm saying about that is that men are always putting one another down. Men are always putting one another down. Now women are always building one another up. Have you noticed that? You know, I hear women say, hey lovely, how you doing? Hey beautiful, oh you look so beautiful. Women are always building one another That's the best I can do. We're just not built that way to be building one another up, but we ought to be building one another up. Men are hardest on other men. Have you also noticed that people just say what they want to say to me? Y'all, let me try. If I had a dime for every time somebody told me, boy, you done got fat, we'd be in the building by now. What make them think they can just walk up and tell me, you done got fat, you done picked that way? What make you don't go to a woman and say, girl, because you know what's supposed to come with that. But they want to they want you to feel like you're a man, you should be able to take it. So take it. I got friends, they say to other men, man, I remember you had a head full of hair. Now look at it. I hear men say that to other men all the time, like, and women say that too, like, okay, but they wouldn't dare say it to a woman. Wouldn't dare. So men are hard on other men. And women are hard on men as far as saying what you want to say to them. That men put other men aside of a box, which means if you're not up on the Antonio Brown getting traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Raiders, then you're not really manly enough. And if you don't know about Jason Witten who's coming back to the Cowboys, and you're not up on the sports stuff, then you may not be man enough. But who put all the men in one box and said you gotta be up on all things male, all things sports? Man, there's some men who don't care about sports and they know less than a man. Can I get an amen somewhere? And then other men are hard on men because it's hard to express our feelings. It's difficult to express our feelings. Now, that's not hard for women. See, if a man gets offended, they are more prone to suck it up and just take it. It's a person. Deal with it. Men have a hard time telling other men, you hurt my feelings. I saw Erica just laugh. Because it seems like, that ain't really manly. You kind of look weak, player. Talk about you hurt my feelings. But we act like men don't have feelings. We act like men don't get hurt. We act like men are not wrestling with things on the inside of their mind. Now, when it comes to a woman, you ain't got to guess when she get hurt, because she going to let you know when you did it, how you did it, and why you ain't never going to do it again. Women will give you a piece of their mind. They're going to give it to you. But men, it's hard for me to say to Pat, hey, Pat, when you said that the other day, dog, that hurt my feelings. Now, I should be able to say it to her. And I've gotten to a point in my life where I can't say it. Because most of the times, when I go to a man and say, hey, man, when you did this the other day, I didn't understand it. And you know, that I don't use the word hurt my feelings, I just didn't understand it. We try to find other lingo. When I say you hurt my feelings, we sound a little soft without the T's. Friends, that's number one. But number two, the reason why men go to the cave is only because other men are the other men's biggest problem. But number two, there's no archetype of man. There's no archetype of man. There's no prototype for a man. There's no example for men. We have a lot of men who show us how to get started, but few men show us how to end. Women outnumber men. Women outlive men by an average of 10 years. An average of 10 years, women outlive men. And so therefore, grandmama's still here, but granddaddy's gone. Daddy's locked up. Daddy's on drugs. Daddy is nowhere present. And truth of the matter is, when I think about it, most women have had either lived in a home where the man was not there, a workaholic, and he might as well not have been there. And they miss out on a whole lot of stuff. And so a lot of women try to put this perception of what they think a man ought to be, or what they see on BET and MTV, and what they saw when they went over to their friend's house. That's why I love the Bible. That's why I love the Bible. The Bible is the best book in the world, because you can't rely on any other book to tell you what a man is, tell you what a man ought to look like. If you're relying on Fox News, it changes. If you're relying on MSNBC, that changes. If you rely on CNN, that changes. If you rely on VH1 or any other television show, that changes. But the Bible has been the same for 2,000 years. The Bible is clear on what a man is. The Bible is clear on what a godly man looks like. There's no archetype of man. See, there's no men who are the example. That's what my daddy was for me. My daddy was the example, and I thank God for other men that I look up to, like Philip and Keith. I thank God for them, even Pat. I thank God for men that I can look up to, and there's some men that I try to help out as I go higher, as I get older. You gotta have men. You got to. Matter of fact, let me just show you what I mean. These 400 men who were in debt, distressed, and discontented, they went to a cave with another man who was in debt, distressed, and discontented. David wasn't king. David wasn't no millionaire. But he was a man, and you couldn't tell none of the 400 men that David wasn't a man. See, we want folks to think that you're a man when you got this, and you're a man when you got that. But now David didn't have none of those things. But they knew what a real man was. They had a prototype, and it was in that cave where David showed them how to deal with it. You need a man who understands that the challenges you have at 20 are different, Bruce, from the challenges you have at 50. You ought not be doing the same thing at 50 that you was doing at 20. Amen. You don't even want to do the same thing at 50 that you were doing at 20. But you got it takes a man that you can look up to. It takes a man that you can model after, who can help you and say, boy, she ain't the one. Now, you got women that say it all the time. Now, that he ain't the one. But where's the men that tell you she ain't the one? She ain't the one. She ain't the one. I can tell by the way. And you know, men ain't gonna say, man, you hate on me. You know, If you got the right mentor, if you got the right one who's going to help you, who got your best interests in mind, they're going to do the best they can to help you. Let me try to move on real quick. Number 3, men feel lonely. I want to give you all some stuff right quick that's going to, I want to try to help you all. Give me about 5 minutes. I want to try to help you all on point. Number 3, a lot of men feel lonely. For men under 45, the biggest killer of men under 45 is suicide. 40% of men, over 40% of men have thought about killing themselves. Over 40%. 1 of 4 men have thought about taking their own life. 42% of men feel under pressure to be the main breadwinner. 86% of rough sleepers are men. Men are 3 times more likely to be addicted to alcohol. 800,000 men a year are victims of domestic violence. Let me say that again. I know y'all hear it the other way around. 800,000 men every year are victims of domestic violence. Well, why don't we ever hear about it? Because most men don't want to be calling police on their wife. They don't want to be calling police on their girlfriend. It's not because she don't deserve to take her behind the jail. It's because it wouldn't make him look like. Men that care so much about their image, So much about you can't control the situation. 800,000 men a year are victims of domestic violence. 1 out of 8 men don't have close friends. 1 out of 8 men don't have close friends. What I mean, close friends, people you can talk about life about, people you can tell your secrets to. See, let me say this. I got homeboys man, it takes a breaking point time when I had a friend who told me about, and it took him a long time to tell me that his wife was having an affair on him. A lot of men would never, ever disclose that. Why wouldn't they disclose it? They won't disclose it because of the fact they don't want you to think a certain way of their wife. They're very protective. Most men are very territorial, they're very protective, they're very loyal. They don't want you to think a certain way about their wife. That's number one. So I ain't gonna tell you she's having an affair. Number two, then they're gonna say, because men are trying to figure out why she having an affair. Then the next question is, well, what are you doing? And sometimes he don't want to answer that question on what he's doing or what he hasn't done. That's run his wife in the arms of another man. Or maybe he ain't done nothing, and maybe that's just who she is. And it still makes him look bad that he chose to marry this woman. Y'all ain't gonna pray with me, but that's okay. As few as 4% of males have been victims of sexual abuse reported to the police. Less than 4%. Why are less than 4% of males who were abused sexually as a kid? Why wouldn't they tell you? Because of how it makes them look. 13 men every day take their own life. It's hard being a man. Most men are very simple. Listen, I'm done. Most men are very simple. Most men that you meet, they're very simple. And their needs are very simple. Their need to be happy is very simple. These things are critical. You may be working hard to make your man happy with things he doesn't even need at all, that he's desperate to have. I want to say that again. You may be trying to make your man happy with things that he doesn't need at all. The things that a man needs are very simple. Most times a man would tell you, I need 2 things. If you ask your man, what do you need to be happy? I guarantee you, most times he got the answer. He know. It may go something like this: I need peace and passion. Just if you can give me those 2 things, I'll be all right. Be his wife, not his pastor. He don't need you preaching no sermon to him. He don't need you criticizing him. He doesn't need a sanctuary. He need a castle. Every man need a castle. You may make more money than him. When he get home, you need to be king. Not king. Cain. You may have picked out the drapes, and you may have picked out the carpet, and you may have decorated the whole house. Yeah, it may be your house as far as you run it, but when he gets home, he needs to be king. Don't be bringing Idris Elba's picture inside your house. And I say, well, you just insecure. They ain't just insecure. It just, it's called this thing, RESPECT. You don't be bringing no butt-naked woman inside the house. You don't bring no half-naked woman put it on the ceiling so I can look at it. No. So someone will say, well, you're insecure. They ain't got nothing to do with insecure. Take a picture of Barack Obama, put inside the White House right now, see what happened to you. Donald Trump is the typical, as far as that goes, as far as jealousy goes, he don't want no rivals. Men in that home want to be king. David and these these men, they got out of their home, they went home after being around other men. That's what men you got to do. When you in the funk, when you're depressed, you got to be around other men. Then they were around a praying man. David prayed, as we talked about last week, 3 times in that cave. And then when they became leaders, they became better leaders. Now, let me say this. There are times we're married to smart, intelligent, powerful, strong women. In order to lead a powerful, smart, intelligent, strong woman, you got to be a better leader. And so when you're in the cave, when you're in the funk, I pray every morning. I started praying this prayer last week. I started praying, Lord, make me a better leader. Lord, I want to be a better leader. I got strong children. I got smart children. I have a smart, intelligent, strong wife. And in order for me to lead, if you're going to lead, if you're going to lead well, you got to ask the Lord, help make me a stronger, better leader. Man, let me say this to you. When you're in the cave, when you messed up, the only person who can really bring you out that cave is God. The only person who can bring you out that depression is God. Sometimes we got to be like Forrest Gump. Man, we got to be like Forrest Gump. I was reading a story about Forrest Gump. He went to heaven, Keith, and when he got there, Peter said, hey, Forrest, I've heard a lot about you. Can't wait to meet you. And but before I let you in, you got to answer 3 questions. The question number 1, Forrest Gump, I got to ask you is what 2 days in the week begin with T? And the second question I got to ask you is how many seconds are in a year? And the third question I got to ask you is what's God's first name? Forrest Gump said those are some tough questions, and he said, I've never been a smart man, but I think I may have the answers. The question number 1, what 2 days in the week begin with T? I think that's today and tomorrow. Those are the 2 days in the week that begin with T. And Peter said, I really can't count that wrong, so I got to give it to you. But how many seconds are in a year? And Forrest said, I thought about that one. That's a little tougher, but I think it's 12 seconds in a year. And Peter said, how in the world did you figure that there are 12 seconds in a year? He said, well, there's January 2nd, and there's February 2nd, and there's March 2nd, and there's April 2nd. And Peter said, that wasn't what I was talking about either, but you know what? I got to go ahead, and I got to give it to you. And he said, now, Forrest, I got to ask you, what is God's first name? Forrest said, well, that's the easiest. God's first name is Andy. And Peter said, man, I read the Bible. I walk with his son Jesus. I've never heard of Andy. He said, yeah, his first name is Andy. And Peter said, I've heard of Alpha and Omega, but I've never heard of Andy. I've heard of Adonai, but I've never heard of Andy. I've heard of Almighty, but I've never heard of Andy. And Forrest said, yeah, his first name is Andy. He said, see, I was born with polio, and it was Andy that helped me to start walking right. And he said, I went to the Vietnam War, and I had people dying all around me, but it was Andy that kept me protected. He said, I went and bought me a fishing boat, bubble gum shrimp, and when I was out there on the ocean, a hurricane came and took all the other boats and left mine standing. It was Andy that left mine standing. He says, well, Forrest, how do you understand that his name is Andy? He said, I understand his name is Andy because the song says, Andy walks with me, and Andy talks with me, and Andy tells me I'm his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Friends, men, I want to tell you, make sure you get you an Andy. Make sure you know God's first name. Make sure you know Jesus Christ, because he's the only one that can keep you. Look, I want you to stand with me on the day as we get ready